Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Magic and Miracles, where you learn how to be the magician of your life. My name is Anna, and I'm your most favorite life energy coach. Because nobody teaches you what I teach you in coaching. I've designed the most effective program in the last 9 years that I've been a coach to people of many different walks of life, and it works every single time. If you focus, if you come to work, and if you don't rebuttal me and trust my methods. So I recommend 2 to 3 months in coaching with me in order to accomplish this. This is on average enough for an individual, unless there is more to process and you want to stay longer. In order to be able to feel like you understand everything and are stable in your emotional state, which is not unimportant. It is the most important thing. I don't care if it's like I've taught you everything at the end, towards the end. We usually do one of two things, or a combination of the two, is making sure you're emotionally stable and making sure that everything is in place for your new life. Because my coaching is not just to teach how to bring back SPs, it's how to, my voice just went in the toilet there. Unexpectedly, how to actually reconstruct your entire life, not just one fucking SP, okay? Because that's just, like I say, always a handbag. So it's a very detail-oriented kind of coaching. We get together 2 to 3 times per week. In order to be in my coaching, you need to pre-book, sign the coaching agreement, and reach out to me with your availability to schedule our first session. Everything's recorded for you to rewatch, re-listen to, depending if it's a Zoom session or a phone call. And to take a lot of notes. I take a tremendous amount of notes after each and every single one of my clients when I rewatch the session or re-listen to it. And it's really the most interesting work I've ever done in my life. And it's endlessly fascinating because it's right there. If you take the time to get to know yourself, all the answers will be inevitable. But I find that, people don't really make such big progress doing this work on their own because they have no feedback. A strong-minded coach needs to guide you. And as usual, a reminder, monthly audios that I send Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays are an entry-level coaching package full of all sorts of information and in-depth conversations that I do not have on my channel anymore in that depth, in that capacity, with the exercises and with a lot of the things that I share in one-on-one coaching. So you'd be wise to sign up for that, as well as the video school, which is a 1-month package only. 12 videos go through my entire coaching program. So that's for somebody who cannot come into my coaching for some reason, but still wants to find out how they can get the tools to better themselves. Obviously, and of course, no such thing will ever substitute coaching one-on-one, but you understand that. So I've been promising to share the success story on my channel of one of my clients whom I've worked with for, I think it's like 6 months now. And again, everybody's different. So different people come with different backgrounds, different walks of life, and especially with different kind of, where you are in this manifestation game as far as what have you done thus far kind of deal. So not everybody's on the same level, so to speak. And so don't take it as then I will need 6 months or whatever. This is just one case I'm discussing. This may not be your case. So I don't know you, you know you. You can book a session and then we can discuss these things. But so this person spent 6 months in coaching with me. And she had a lot to work through with this person that she was attempting to change. And I'm not really allowed to discuss what had occurred, but it was really unpleasant. Very I would say bordering on abuse, okay? And I told her about this. So she was working on herself though and making huge progress. But in from the very beginning, she asked me how to see how impatient people are, to talk about the energy work. Okay. And of course, I said, maybe not right now, but maybe later. And she insisted upon, finding out certain things. And this is like goes to show how you should definitely do the work on yourself, process everything first, and then embark on doing your energy work, your magic spells. And essentially, because your mind could change, okay, that your mind could change. And also, when you process whatever you need to process, you are way more powerful. Your energies skyrocketed, from comparing to where you used to be. You're like a fucking astronaut, okay? So from that premise, you don't need to do it over and over again. This is why I'm such a kind of like affirmations give me cringe the way that the internet uses them. I had a whole fucking other idea of affirmations when I came to YouTube, because I understand them differently. I mean, it's okay to write something down once you already have done pre-paved it, sort of deal, and then you seal it with a kiss, so to speak, and you pronounce, let's just say, I'm a multimillionaire. But behind that statement, there's a lot of preparation, a lot of focusing on what and how am I going to, see this into fruition, et cetera, et cetera. But this I go through in my coaching. So in other words, one affirmation, saying it one time, is enough to manifest something when you're on that level. But when you're starting out, you may not be. And so doing something in that state, first of all, may not be as powerful. And secondly, you may not understand exactly how powerful this really is. But here's the deal. I've spoken on my channel as well about like finding like my old journals, because I keep all of them like literally since I was like 17 or something, maybe earlier than that. And some things that I literally wrote down as a joke, okay? Not even thinking about it came true. Not like a joke, haha, but kind of like, oh, whatever, I don't care anyway, so here I go. And I would just write it, and then I would notice that these things would come true. So in other words, be careful what you wish for. And so when she felt like she was processed, and there's a rhythm to it, in everybody's life. Nobody's like another person. And you will know when you're finally free of resentment. There was a lot of resentment. There was a lot of anger, okay, because of her then ex-partner. I'm not sure what it is now, but I'm gonna finish the story and then you'll understand. Her ex-partner's behavior, yeah, she held on to a lot of pain, all right? And it's kind of like catch-22, isn't it? When you're forgiving a lot of shit, it's like, well, how can I see you fucking differently after this shit? That's your call. That's entirely your judgment. But, coming into my coaching, prepare to hear some fucking truth, because the truth shall set you free. And then if you are okay with the truth, that you could process it and not fucking deny it, because living in denial is bullshit, then you want to change it, of course. I mean, everything is possible, but the desire has to be there. So underline 300 million times, the desire has to be there. This woman had a lot of fucking desire. Let me tell you this. Okay, a lot of fucking desire. She's a very passionate person, which a lot of my clients are. And who am I to stand in any of my clients' way? If you want something, go for it, All you need to tell me is, I really want this. No, fuck, let's go. Let's do it. So this is why I, explained to her the energy work, which I started teaching people in my coaching. It's really, really effective. I'm not even trying to sell you anything. I mean, what I'm going to tell you next is a warning, in fact, how well this works. essentially she did a couple of energy works. Actually, not a couple, more than a couple. That's the whole point, actually. How could I forget? Quite a few, let's just say, okay, of these energy work processes that I teach, which are very, very simple, elegant, but very powerful. Okay. And again, underline 300 million times, your energy, the higher that it goes, the more effective it is. So, what I think happened in this woman's case is that she did it way too many times. And then, excuse me, at the same time, her resentment subsided. And voila, like, you know, manifestation fucking galore. So now, as it stands, this person did not even did he come back for her and begged her. And this is not like, listen, let me just finish and then start, celebrating for this woman, because now she's like, Anna, can I fucking undo this shit? Because he's too fucking annoying. I'm so serious. Like, she's actually irritated about it. He acts like a complete, like, obsessed with her. Like, he told her, I was spying on you the entire time, your social media, your house. It took her, I don't know, I think it was like 4 years to manifest this guy. And the entire time she thought that he didn't give a fuck about her. That's another side note. Meanwhile, the entire time that she was crying and doing this, that, and the other, this dude was like seriously up her ass the entire time. So even though they didn't talk, the energy was not moving, right? So don't wait for the other person to move the energy. You move the energy. Because it's about you. So rather than chasing and expecting some fucking outcome to magically appear, you go to town and create that fucking energy. But without the shift, no new energy can be created. Do you follow, class? Like, this, what I just said is really fucking important. Without any movement in your own energy, forget about results. Like, I don't care if you do the most I don't know which voodoo craft ritual, which is not what I teach. This is just for haha, for a laugh, for a cheap laugh. But nevertheless, I don't care what you do. In other words, it's not going to work. Why? Because you're always working with your energy. But when somebody really believes in something and really has a lot of desire, like I said, and your energy is elevated, the end. Okay, that's it. You're gonna get anything and everything. And what she wrote, and the other portion, of course, and I warn about this. See, I'm not even having a conversation of whether it's possible. Of course it's possible. Just line up the energy and stay there though, for just to anchor yourself in that reality. And the other thing is, like, be careful what you write down. Because every single thing came true. He's literally obsessed with her. A lot of people love that word. Be careful what kind of meaning you put into it. Okay? In other words, like the way that she was crying and obsessing over him, he's exactly like that now, and she cannot stand him. Great. I mean, she likes him. It's not that, but it's just like, Anna, this is too much. How do we undo this? So I'm actually, it's not the first time, but, but one of the very kind of like illustrative times that I actually have to work with her on revising this situation. And so it goes to show, my point being here is that you not only can jump timelines, but change people, okay? But that's just minuscule. This is kind of like, I'm echoing back with what we talked about during my live, which if you haven't watched it yet, go watch it. It's really fun. Even though some, people were interrupting me every 5 seconds, almost. Some visitors that we don't know who they are. By the way, they gave me the $4 and then they took it back. I'm like, wow. True gentleman, you know what I mean? I kept complaining about it. Anyway, Yeah, in my opinion, I think, giving somebody $2 on the internet, it's like, what am I going to do with it? By the time I pay taxes, it's 50 cents. And after the fees, like, seriously, let's get some perspective. In other words, we're not having a conversation of if it's possible. It's absolutely possible. I think the ultimate solution to NESP is don't get the wrong idea that you're powerless. If all of the elements are present in your story, like decision, passion, right? Desire, passion, and a little bit of madness, a little bit of delusion about what is possible for you, having processed your emotions of the past, and at the very least being familiar with them. Like, some people believe, and I don't entirely disagree, I just know it from my own personal experience that it does change who you are entirely, this work. Some people believe that your demons never really go away. You just know how to handle them better. I would disagree with that. I think it does take some time to really not go there anymore, period. But it's definitely possible. So I just want to really say that. And the absolute best way to turn something that is seemingly hindering you right now is to turn it into a benefit. The end. So you consider something to be a benefit, changes it completely and turns it into value. Okay, some kind of benefit in your world rather than condemning it. Okay, especially because it has to do with you. So in conclusion, I would just say this: it's your call and your decision, essentially, where you want to take your situation. I think honesty about where you are right now and why that is required to change anything going forward. And understand that it does take time, but also understand that once you change, you may have an entirely different idea of what it is you want, and that is totally normal because you're on a new frequency, in a new reality, maybe even, most certainly, on a new timeline. So in that timeline, things can change. I bet you anything, if this guy, my client's partner, ex-partner, whatever, showed up acting like this when she was desperate, she would definitely take him back instantly. She's not doing that right now. So to her, now that she's healed, and now that she understands what to do and how to do it for herself, she's having other thoughts. So it's not a matter of, your SP abandoned you and how can we get her or him back? It's about, first of all, do you even want it? And I already spoke about this like 3 trillion times on my channel as a very good audio. Do you really want your SP back? I think it's very much about that. You want to know something? It's very much about that. It's who you are and what do you want, period, the end. When you focus on those two things, and I really don't mean it in a narcissistic way, but in a very kind of, what do I want? What do I want and who am I? Those two things right now, if you're in a situation where you're not, you don't have communication with this person, is going to change once you address what needs to be addressed within yourself. So it isn't about them leaving you, abandoning you, something, like being chosen over or whatever. It's not that at all. It's that, do you want them? Okay? Or did it come to such a degree of you separating from yourself, okay, that this relationship was inevitable, that it was going to break down at that level? Okay, so different things can happen, but I don't know your story, you know your story. In other words, you disengaged with this person yourself. Something changed, something didn't, something changed energetically. It never lies, the energy. Either it was like you sent it out into the universe, enough is enough, I can't stand this shit anymore, or your fears and doubts came through once again, like the uninvited guests that they are, and sabotaged it for you. Either way, okay, you did this entirely by yourself. So isn't that relieving that the other person is not at all involved in the decision making? Such a relief, isn't it? We're not pleasing. We're not out to please any fucking body. It's as soon as you're healed, you get to do whatever. But again, at that point, you might change your mind. And again, you know what? My job is you. It's not really about the ESP. I think it's an opportunity for you to find out who you truly are and how really easy all this bullshit of manifestation is. So as that, it's great. But understand that it isn't about you being unworthy. That's not the conversation. The conversation is, I think it's high time I took care of myself well, mentally, emotionally, and physically, and then make some decisions about how my life is going to be. Because clearly, either I haven't made the decisions thus far that were to my advantage, or I just didn't pay attention to anything about what I wanted. So naturally, something else got outpictured. In other words, it's never a surprise. Okay, it's really, I mean, if you're really honest about it, at least to yourself, it's never a surprise. It's an energy thing. And based on what I just said, it just circles back to the same thing. You're the golden Buddha. You get to choose whatever. And so you don't need to make decisions from the desperate state, the desperate situation, or whatever. You need to imagine yourself at the very least in the beginning, so it could drive you to do the work on yourself about what kind of life is waiting for you on the other end. What kind of quality of life are you going to achieve as this new version? Even though it seems to you like it's not achievable, anything is. It's not achievable from that state that you're in right now. So that's completely true, as Bentinho Massaro would say. However, it's very much achievable in that it already is. So someone already thought of it. They've designed it for you. You just need to match the frequency, sort of deal. In other words, they can turn into whoever and whatever, as long as you have your shit together. But do you really want that, becomes the question. And I think if you just allow yourself the possibility to explore new ideas, things turning out in such a beautiful way, more than you could have possibly imagined, because you allowed yourself to ask for more and be driven by the desire of the best. In other words, don't worry, it's all yours anyway. No one's gonna take what's yours. It's always going to be yours. It's yours for taking and keeping, and this, than any other. It's just time to reclaim your power, but in a very kind of like sophisticated way. You know what I mean? Where you trust that if you decide something one time, it will for sure fucking come true. Thank you very much for listening. All the information from me is below. Until next time. Ciao, ciao.